Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Saturday afternoon practice, and good morning to those from Asia. So, we're going to be spending the next hour doing some exercise, some meditation, and I'd like to use a word today to help us focus on our practice. And the word that I choose to use is awareness. Awareness. So last week I talked about intervention, because one thing that we all have in common these days is our desire to have good health. And one of our biggest problems is something that is called metabolic disorder, or what used to be called hormonal imbalance. Very stress related, almost all due to stress. Somehow stress causes us to have stress hormone, and then the stress hormone causes all kinds of problems. And I said something like, I would rather call this lifestyle disorder. I think in a way we can think of this as a evolution disorder. Think about as human beings on planet Earth. We're actually a very, very young species. Earth itself is billions and billions of years old. First life form is many, 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 many millions of years ago. And modern human being is only about 100,000 years, maybe 200,000. Invention of fire is very recent. Domestication of animal is very recent, about 10,000 years. So if the life of the planet Earth is 1 minute, we're like microseconds. And just think about how we used to live in the cave, talking about yin and yang. No one, this is way before the invention of fire, so no one ever go out at night. So when you go out, it's yang, you're influenced by the sun. And when you come back, it's yin, you're influenced by the absence of sun. That's why when you're out there, you're fight or flight. You either run away from an animal or you run towards an animal. You can't always run away from them because you need to have food. But when you're back home, back in the cave, then you rest and digest. That's how we were designed. And now, of course, we're so addicted to progress. We don't live like that anymore, right? Instead, we're 24/7 fight or flight. Very little. In fact, I argue that we have completely lost the art of rest and digest. So I talk about this as being an addiction to progress, addiction to a way of life. And I talk about the 12 steps being a very good way of overcoming addiction. Now, for those of you who have studied the 12 steps, it's really only 5 steps. And then it just kind of expand into 12. And intervention is like the first 2. The first step is you just have to say, I can't anymore. It's a problem that I don't know how to deal with anymore. I'm giving up. I need help. So honesty, acceptance is a big part. And then the next part, according to the original teaching, which are from the Christians, it's about seeking God, or God as you know her. Could be a personal God, could be a universal God, could be a God that created man in his or her image, or it could be a God that man created in his or her image. That doesn't matter, it's as you know it. It's some higher power. So once you accept that you can't do it on your own, then you have to seek. You have to accept and seek, and then you have to follow. And what's interesting is the last step of the 12th step is that you actually have to service God. You actually have to then become someone who are willing to help others, which is probably explain why I'm here. Turns out that the very last step, the second to the last step, not yet to the service part, is awareness. That the 12 steps, by the time you get through it, It's really about developing awareness for yourself. And so that's the word that I choose to use today, is awareness. Now, we often hear people talk about mindfulness. I think it's important to make the distinction between mindfulness and right mindfulness. Right mindfulness is a spiritual practice, whereas mindfulness could be anything you want. It's an English word, you could use it, everybody could use it. But if you look at the way that it was intended, it was really just about awareness. Awareness of yourself, both in time and in space. Awareness of time, temporal awareness means that here I am, here's my breath, one breath at a time. What's past is past, what hasn't come hasn't come. It actually doesn't matter. What matters is right now. So that's what we've been calling present moment. Be at the moment. Awareness of the time. Awareness of the space. Awareness of who we are, where we are. In my case, I like to think of it as awareness of your chi. The word chi, again, can mean anything you want. It can mean as simple as breath. It can mean circulation. And it could mean energy. So I want you to come back to this word awareness. Aware of the present moment in terms of time. Awareness of the space where you are. Awareness of the body. Awareness of the presence of your body. How when you straighten up your spine, open your shoulder, relax your shoulder, lean back the forehead, tuck in the chin, totally aware of your body. Aware of your breath, knowing that you're breathing, knowing how when you breathe in, your body changes, and when you breathe out, your body changes. Aware of your mind, or more accurately, aware of the effect of your mind. I used to teach mechanical engineering, and when I teach introductory course in mechanical engineering, it's very important to introduce the concept of gravity. So I always go to the first class, stand behind the podium, and then I take a book and I drop the book, and it makes a huge sound, bang, like this. And then I ask the student, what was that? And the student says, some smart student says, oh, that's gravity. I said, that's not gravity. That's the effect of gravity. No one's ever seen gravity. We have only seen the effect of gravity. So if I talk about the body and the mind, the materiality, the mentality, the physicality versus the spirituality, we don't see the mind. The mind doesn't exist for us. It's the effect of the mind. So anxiety, that's a big word these days, anxiety. A lot of my friends, suffering from anxiety causes all kinds of health problems. Anxiety is the effect of the mind. It's the effect of the mind. Whoever is causing the anxiety is no longer there. It's gone. But it's the effect, it's the residual effect on your mind that's causing you the anxiety. So you need to learn how to not follow. Not follow. It's all about not following. If you study Zen meditation, Japanese Zen meditation comes from the Chinese called Chan meditation. Now, when it's translated from Chinese into English, that's called silent illumination. So silence means not following. It doesn't mean quiet. It just means not silent. In fact, the Chinese word for that is very interesting. It's really very interesting. Chinese characters are very interesting. It has two parts. One part means black. The other part means dog, a canine. I was growing up in Macau, and Macau is a very rural area. Everybody, the dogs are not pets. So that's a problem I have with pets, is that I never grew up with pets. Every animal in the household has a purpose. The cat is the catch mice, and the dog is to guard the doors. And so as soon as I saw the word, I know exactly what it means. So the dog guards the gate, and when you walk by, they go like this. It's very scary, big teeth and all that. But as soon as you're gone, they don't follow. They just stay there because their job is to guard the door, not to follow you. They might scare the crap out of you, but that's all they do. As soon as you walk away, they don't follow. So to really understand pain and suffering and anxiety, all these affect the mind, you have to understand how not follow. How not follow. Follow the hand, but as soon as the pain is gone, don't follow the pain anymore. I remember using the example of like you're looking at the beautiful lotus pond and someone play a trick on you, take a big rock and throw it into the pond, or cause all kinds of disturbance. The rock is already gone. It's at the bottom of the pond. No reason to follow the rock. No reason to follow the disturbance. But instead, you should come back to the surface of the pond and just let it quiet down like that. Don't follow. Okay? Now, I started today's practice by talking about awareness, and I mentioned that it is one of the most important steps. In fact, it's the second to the last step of the 12 steps in overcoming addiction, and how our lifestyle disorder is an addiction. It's an addiction to a particular lifestyle that is counter to our evolution. Spending all hours in fight or flight, creating stress hormone in the body, cortisol and adrenaline, which destroys everything else. It's destroyed the melatonin, so we cannot sleep. It creates all kinds of problems for the liver, putting out triglyceride, which result in high cholesterol, pumping our heart, result in high blood pressure, releasing too much glucose, resulting in diabetes, causing a hormonal imbalance with thyroid disorders and all kinds of problems. All kinds of problems. So if you're interested in overcoming that, then you have to understand the 12 steps. And last week we talked about intervention, giving up to the universe, giving up to our environment, giving up to forces that are bigger than ourselves, being aware of the energy within us, aware of the energy in the universe. Today we talk about awareness in different levels, awareness of a chi, awareness of a breath, awareness of a body, awareness of a mind, awareness of the effect of a mind. So we're going to continue focusing on our body, focusing on the breath. We're going to sit properly now. Straighten up our spine, open the shoulder, relax your shoulder, lean back the forehead, tuck in the chin. Entire body move forward. And then as we bring the body back, we keep the hip in place. So the hip is actually rotated forward, and the upper torso is rotating back, putting pressure on the adrenal gland, temporarily shutting down any release of the stress hormone. We're going to continue to lean back as if we're going to fall over. That's when the spine is actually vertical to the earth. Okay? The reason why we feel like we tipped over is because we're still a primate. A primate is not used to having the center of mass all the way back like this. We're used to using our four limbs, so that we like the center of mass to be forward. That's why we hunch like that. But you need to learn how to rotate back as if you're going to fall over. And right now, we call this the one pillar supporting the sky. We're one with the universe. Okay, let's go through this again. Straighten up the spine, open the shoulder, relax your shoulder. Lean back the forehead, tuck in the chin. Entire body move forward, and as we rotate back, keep the hip in place, resting the adrenal gland. Continue to come back as if we're going to fall over. And now we're going to relax eyelid, we're going to relax our forehead. We're going to take a tongue and just touch the roof of my mouth, forcing the saliva gland to be reactivated. Completely fooling our body into the parasympathetic mode. Now we're going to focus on the breath. Pick up where we left off earlier with the exercise. Feel our stomach as you breathe in. Feel our stomach as we breathe out. If you cannot feel your stomach yet, then we can just easily take 3 deep breaths by exhaling first. Don't inhale first, exhaling first. If you inhale first, you would hyperventilate. Open your mouth, blow air through your mouth, very gently, very slowly. Feel how your stomach collapses. Your diaphragm is actually being lifted up, push in, push against the lung to squeeze the air out. Push, blow as much as you can, and then relax. As soon as you relax, fresh air rushes in through your nostril, your stomach is relaxed. Second time, breathe out, blow air through your mouth, collapse your stomach. And then relax. Now you can feel your stomach. As soon as you know that you're breathing in, open your stomach. As soon as you're breathing out, bring back, collapse your stomach. And just doing what we call intentional breathing. This massages the internal organ, which is the nerve center for the internal organ, for the parasympathetic nerve, is the autonomous nerve system. It's actually distributed around the organs, the internal organs, as opposed to the sympathetic, which is also autonomous, but the nerve system there is distributed on the spiral cord. So it's based on sensation. It senses danger and it puts you into the fight or flight. We're doing the opposite. Exercising our diaphragm, massaging internal organs, putting us into the parasympathetic. Now there's some free electrons that are generated in our intestine, in our stomach, and we want to guide those electrons around our body, up the spine, which is very conductive. We do that by just what we call guiding and enticing. Focus on the air that we breathe in. Notice how fresh it is. Imagine all the positive energy that we're absorbing from our universe. As soon as we breathe in, bring that up the spine, along the spine, to the top of the spine, to the back of the head, to the top of the head. And then as we breathe out, start at the forehead. Don't push it, just let it sink by itself to the bridge of your nose, to a lip, crosses over the tongue, to the chin, to the neck, to the upper part of our stomach, to the belly buttons, all the way around the body. As we inhale, bring the energy up, bring the body with you, straighten up your spine, open your shoulder, relax the shoulder, lean back the forehead, tuck in the chin. And as we come down, starting the forehead, we lean back as if we're getting out of the way of the negative energy. So just circle it around like this. Use your mind. Circle it around, up and down, very slowly, very gently. Do 3 cycles at one time. Once you commit, you commit to 3 cycles. Just very gently bring it up to the top of the head. Very gently let it drift, sink down by its own weight. You could almost feel the weight dissipating into your legs. Okay? As you go up, bring your body with you. As you come down, lean back. Maintaining the posture, focusing on the deep breathing, and just circulate the energy around your primary vessel. Up and down, up and down. Okay? 3 minutes. Okay, open your eyes. So one of the things you have to really understand is that you're not really affecting your own health by doing this chi exercise. You're not really doing that. We are so insignificant that that's not what we're doing. What we're doing is creating that energy flow in us so that it couples, magnetic coupling couples with the universe. So once you feel the energy in you, it's actually the energy from the universe. And if you're part of the universe, then you can't help it but to be in harmony. Okay? So just relax. Just believe in it. Just believe in it, and it will come to you. It will come to you. Okay? And once it comes to you, then just understanding that you are now part of the universe. So this is what I meant by awareness. It's never ending. It's just you start from being aware of who you are, where you are, right? Aware of both the time and the space, aware of your body, aware of your breath, aware of your mind, the effect of your mind, right? And you need to calm yourself. And you calm yourself by not following, Because if you follow, all the emotions, then all of a sudden your mind is agitated. So you need to learn how to do that. Okay? It's not knowledge, it's experience.